Buckle up, Buttercup. We're going for a ride. All right, petrol heads, gearheads, and everyone in between. Get ready to dive into the wild world of automobiles, where we've gone from sputtering contraptions to sleek electric beasts. Yeah, we're talking about the evolution of the automobile industry, baby. From the first rickety motor vehicle to the futuristic EVs that'll make your head spin, we're covering it all. Fasten your seatbelts because this ride is going to be a real gas. Let's be real, the automobile industry is like that crazy, unpredictable friend you can't help but love. It's constantly changing, always pushing boundaries, and sometimes it leaves you scratching your head in bewilderment. But hey, that's what makes it so darn exciting. Picture this. It's 1886, the era of handlebar moustaches and top hats. Gas lamps illuminate cobblestone streets, and the clip-clop of horses' hooves is the soundtrack to everyday life. But something revolutionary is brewing, something that will change the world forever. The first practical motor vehicle, a three-wheeled contraption that looks like a cross between a bicycle and a Victorian-era bathtub. Not exactly a head-turner, but hey, you gotta start somewhere, right? Now, let's talk about this game changer, this horseless carriage that dared to be different, the Benz Patent Motor Wagon. This was not just any vehicle, it was the dawn of a new era in transportation, a bold step into the future. Forget power steering, anti-lock brakes and heated seats. This bad boy was bare bones, with three wheels, a tiller for steering, think go-kart, but less stable, and a top speed of a whopping 10 miles per hour. Imagine navigating the cobblestone streets of the 1880s with this contraption. That's right, you could probably outrun it on a good day. But hey, it was a start. It was a revolutionary start, in fact, that paved the way for the modern vehicles we rely on today. But don't let its humble appearance fool you. The Patent Motor Wagon was a technological marvel for its time. It was a symbol of innovation and human ingenuity, a machine that challenged the status quo and dared to dream big. It boasted a single-cylinder, four-stroke engine that churned out a mind-blowing, for the 19th century at least, 0.75 horsepower. This engine was the heart of the vehicle, a testament to the engineering prowess of its creator. It was like strapping a lawnmower engine to a tricycle, but it worked. This simple yet effective design was the foundation upon which the entire automotive industry would be built. Benz's creation was a testament to his ingenuity and his unwavering belief that the future of transportation was, well, horseless. His vision and determination laid the groundwork for the incredible advancements in automotive technology that we benefit from today. So, next time you hop into your car, take a moment to appreciate the humble beginnings of the Benz Patent Motor Wagon and the incredible journey of innovation that followed. From horsepower to, well, horsepower. Now you might be thinking, hold on a minute, this whole horsepower thing seems a bit ironic, doesn't it? And you'd be right. It all goes back to the way we used to measure power, with actual horses. See, before engines came along and stole the show, horses were the muscle behind, well, everything. They pulled carriages, plowed fields, and generally kept the world moving. So, when it came time to describe the power of these newfangled engines, people needed a point of reference, something they could understand. Hold your horses. Mass production takes the reins. So, we've established that Carl Benz was a bit of a genius, right? This guy wasn't just tinkering in his garage, he was revolutionizing transportation as we knew it. He kicked off the whole automobile shebang with his Patent Motor Wagon, a contraption that looked more like a motorized tricycle than the sleek cars we see today. But here's the thing, in those early days, cars were about as common as a vegan at a barbecue. They were rare, exotic, and definitely not something you'd see on every street corner. They were expensive, handcrafted toys for the rich and famous. meticulously built by skilled artisans. The kind of thing you'd see a monocle-wearing aristocrat driving around in while sipping champagne, perhaps on their way to a lavish party. Not exactly accessible to the average Joe, right? The common folk could only dream of owning such a marvel. Enter Henry Ford, a man with a vision of affordable cars for everyone. Ford wasn't just another car enthusiast, he was a revolutionary thinker. Ford wasn't interested in building fancy chariots for the upper crust. He had a different dream, one that involved the everyday person. He wanted to create a car for the masses, a vehicle that was reliable, affordable, and as American as apple pie and baseball. Ford envisioned a world where families could own their own car, where the freedom of the open road was available to everyone, not just the elite. His weapon of choice? Mass production, baby. This wasn't just about making cars, it was about making them efficiently and affordably. Ford was convinced that by building cars on a massive scale, he could drive down costs and make car ownership a reality for millions. And he was right. The Model T became a symbol of this new era, an era where the automobile was no longer a luxury, but a necessity. Ford's whipping out the Model T. Game changer. In 1908, Ford unleashed his masterpiece upon the world, the Model T, affectionately nicknamed the Tin Lizzie. This wasn't just a car, it was a revolution on 4 wheels. The Model T was simple, sturdy, and easy to maintain, the automotive equivalent of a pair of trusty work boots. It wasn't about luxury or speed, it was about getting from A to B without relying on a horse-drawn taxi. And here's the kicker. The Model T was cheap, ridiculously cheap for its time. Section 3. From luxury to necessity. The people's car. As the Model T took the world by storm, something remarkable happened. The automobile transitioned from a luxury item to a practical necessity. People realized that cars weren't just playthings for the wealthy. They were tools that could improve their lives in countless ways. Section 1. Pimp My Ride, from basic to Berlin. Remember the Model T, that iconic piece of automotive history? Yeah, that reliable old workhorse was about as basic as a bowl of plain porridge. It was the car that put America on wheels. Don't get me wrong, it was a game changer. But let's just say it wasn't winning any beauty contests. It was practical, functional, and affordable. Back then, you got one color choice, black, and that was your lot. Henry Ford famously said, "Any customer can have a car painted any color that he wants so long as it is black." No fancy touchscreen infotainment systems, no heated leather seats, no power steering, and definitely no air conditioning. No voice-activated GPS telling you to make a U-turn in the middle of nowhere. You had to rely on paper maps and your sense of direction. Nope, just you, the open road, and probably a toolkit for when things inevitably went wrong. Breakdowns were part of the adventure. But as the automobile industry cranked into high gear, innovation and competition started to heat up. So did the demand for something a little more exciting. People wanted more than just a means of transportation. People wanted cars that turned heads, cars that reflected their personality and status, cars that made a statement, cars that were not just functional but also fashionable, cars that screamed, "Get out of my way, slowpokes!" The era of the stylish, powerful, and luxurious automobile had begun. Section 2. Safety first. Well, maybe second, after speed. Now, while everyone was busy obsessing over tail fins and horsepower, there was this little thing called safety that was, shall we say, often overlooked. Early cars were about as safe as a bull in a china shop, with flimsy frames, questionable brakes, and about as much protection as a wet paper bag. Section 3. Vroom with a view. The rise of automotive luxury. As cars became safer and more reliable, people started getting greedy. Hey, they thought, if I'm going to be spending hours stuck in traffic, I might as well be comfortable, right? And thus began the quest for automotive luxury, the pursuit of turning the humble car into a mobile oasis of comfort, convenience, and cutting-edge technology. First came the creature comforts, plush leather seats that wouldn't leave you with a permanent wedgie, air conditioning that could chill a polar bear, and sound systems that could make Beethoven sound like he was playing live in your back seat. Section 4. Under the hood engines. Get smart and efficient. While all this luxury and safety stuff was going on, let's not forget about the heart of the beast, the engine. Those early engines were about as sophisticated as a drunken donkey, guzzling fuel like it was going out of style and spewing out enough noxious fumes to make a smog monster blush. But as the decades rolled by, engineers got to work, tinkering, tweaking, and turbocharging their way to a new generation of engines that were more powerful, more efficient, and a whole lot cleaner. Section 1. Electric Avenue. The shocking rise of EVs. Remember when electric cars were the butt of every petrolhead joke? They were slow, clunky, and had a range that would make a milk float look like a cross-continental explorer. They were the automotive equivalent of a tofu burger, worthy maybe, but not exactly setting the world on fire. Well, laugh no more, doubters, because the electric revolution is here, and it's brought its A-game this time. Tesla, not just a mad scientist's wet dream. Of course, no story about electric vehicles would be complete without mentioning the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Tesla. Led by the enigmatic Elon Musk, a man who seems to have been beamed down from the future with a pocket full of game-changing ideas, Tesla didn't just build electric cars, they made them sexy. Forget those worthy but dull electric hatchbacks of yore. Tesla rolled out sleek, stylish vehicles that could go toe-to-toe with the best that the internal combustion engine world had to offer. The Model S, with its ludicrous acceleration and falcon wing doors, became the must-have status symbol for the eco-conscious elite, proving that you could save the planet without sacrificing style or performance. Tesla might have been the trailblazer, the maverick that shook up the industry, but the established automakers weren't about to be left in the dust. Suddenly, everyone from Toyota to Volkswagen was jumping on the electric bandwagon, pumping billions into developing their own EVs. The race was on to electrify the automobile, and things were getting interesting. We saw everything from compact electric city cars designed for zipping through urban jungles to luxury electric SUVs that could ferry your entire brood to the ski lodge in style, all without burning a single drop of petrol. So, there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour through the history of the automobile, from those rickety first cars to the sleek, silent EVs that are poised to take over the world. It's been a wild ride, full of twists, turns, and enough innovation to make your head spin. But here's the thing about the automobile industry. It never stands still. Just when you think you've seen it all, some bright spark comes along and throws a spanner in the works, turning everything on its head. So, what does the future hold? But here's the thing about all this futuristic tech. It's only as good as the people behind the wheel, or in this case, maybe not behind the wheel. The human element will always be at the heart of the driving experience, whether it's the thrill of taking a corner at the limit, the joy of a scenic road trip, or the simple pleasure of cruising down the boulevard with the wind in your hair. So, as we hurtle towards this brave new world of autonomous vehicles, flying cars, and electric hypercars, let's not forget what makes the automobile so special in the first place. The freedom it gives us, the connections it forges, and the memories we create along the way.